This year on May 5th, 2025, it will mark the third year that Kevin Samuels has been resting in peace and no longer with us. Kevin Samuels had a message that resonated with women, men, people all over the world. You would tune in and there would be 30 to 40,000 people watching him at any given night. He was having people tune in and listen to him at night. And he was called a misogynist by some women because they didn't like the message, especially the women, particularly who he was speaking to, the modern woman. The modern woman didn't like him. But a lot of these women are misandrous themselves, right? Y'all remember when he checked Kendra G for this?
This is why I'm gonna stop you right here, man. I'm gonna stop you right here, and I'm gonna stop you right here. This is why young women are stop coming to you, ladies. That's the woman who called my show last night, asking, "Who are you to be giving all this advice?" And then this 46-year woman. Young women are stop listening to y'all because you won't stop. The reason there are 32,000 people watching my show, and a lot of them are women, because you're not telling them the truth. You won't be direct with them. You won't just tell them, "Look, if you want to have your career, it's gonna cost you." You won't tell them that if you want to get married and have kids, you need to do it before a certain age to have a better shot. You know better, but you won't tell them.
And see, he exposed Kendra G because Kendra G was one of these women that goes around talking down on men, beating up on men any chance she get. But she was one of the women that mistook options for opportunities. When she was young, you know, she had a lot of options, but didn't have a lot of opportunities to become a wife. She didn't even have any children. But Kevin Samuels got on her because she wouldn't tell a lot of these young girls the truth about our community and what a woman's role is to the community, right? She wouldn't do that, right? So she got called out, but she was making a lot of money, as a single woman trying to tell women about relationships and how to be in a relationship when she couldn't maintain one herself, right? So she got exposed. Y'all remember when Tasha K exposed her for dealing with this type of man?
Hey, how was that Kendra G scrutinizing women about their requirements and preferences in a mate when she's parading around Los Angeles and being love bombed by Hush Puppy Jr., the Nigerian Deo, aka Donovan Johnson, aka Don Johnson, aka Reginald Green, aka Terrence Reed, aka James Wright, aka Timothy Price, and the list goes on. She is head over heels in love with a notorious scammer that recently came home from federal prison for bank fraud, credit card fraud, wire fraud, identity theft, and money laundering. Her Instagram is at Kendra G. It's Scam Central and Scream Scam Likely. So when I did drop this email in her DM, as I told her I would, and text her, she didn't say a goddamn thing. But she had a lot of motherfuckers out trying to keep me or trying to scare me from even receiving this information.
Kendra G, she never even responded to this because she knew that she was exposed, right? She got exposed by Kevin Samuels. She got exposed by Tasha K. She was done. But people with a brain can really see what this was about. She was a woman in her 40s, wasn't married, didn't have any children, but somehow she was this relationship guru. Like, no. Like, you know, she squandered a lot of her years, and now in her 40s, she's trying to have children. She's trying to do all these things when she's supposed to do it when she was younger. But she's telling young girls to do the same thing that she's doing when she's miserable. But then we get to Tracee Ellis Ross. And the one thing about Kevin Samuels predicted this before he passed away about Tracee Ellis Ross, about the things that she would be going through. He predicted things about her and a lot of these modern women. Is he talking about all women? Absolutely not. Because if you tune into his show, you will see that it would be 20 to 30,000 people watching him, and most of them were women. So they were listening. But he talked about the woman like Tracee Ellis Ross when he said this.
We're not selecting Tracee Ellis Ross's. Not for marriage. She can still get it. There are a lot of guys who would slay that easy, would have no problem even being seen with her in public. But would a man that she wants do it? Imagine the man that Tracee Ellis Ross would get. Chances are he would be younger, maybe some up-and-coming young actor. Can you imagine a woman like Tracee Ellis Ross with a 58-year-old CEO of a Fortune 50 company, an accomplishment? No, they needed a completely different woman. And that's the ultimate point. The longer you're by yourself, the less likely you are a good fit for anybody else. I'm going to ask you ladies, especially you women over 35, what are you going to be willing to give up?
And he asks, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? Now, when you're a woman that you gave up or forego being in a relationship, having children in your 20s and your 30s, now in your 40s, you're wanting to do all those things, but you stuck in your ways now. You stuck in the life that you've been used to living for the last 2 decades. So you all of a sudden now you're just going to get relinquished power over to a man. You're just going to now all of a sudden just have a child and be in a happy marriage. It doesn't work that way, because if it did, you will see these women happily married. No, they don't know how to be in relationships with nobody else. They don't know how to relinquish power. They don't know how to sacrifice and be committed to something other than themselves, because that's what they've trained themselves to do since their teenage years. Now all of a sudden in your 40s, you want to have a long-term marriage like me and my wife. It's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. And this is the thing that Kevin Samuels and a lot of people have been saying. Now that Kevin Samuels has been rested in peace, you have a lot of women channels that sprung up now echoing the same sentiments that he was saying, right? And he predicted this situation. He predicted this situation before he passed away with Tracee Ellis Ross. Check this out.
About this, that often I date younger men.
Let's imagine the man that Tracee Ellis Ross would get. Chances are he would be younger.
Your husband goes, but why? And I said, well, maybe because I can.
Yes.
One of the reasons, though, that, because I had to ask myself that question. I was like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Because I want a partner. And so often, and it's not just that I'm older, I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous?
There's that.
There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession, or whatever those things were, or prize, and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
And see, Kevin Samuels was spot on with women like this, right? If you listen to her talk, there was absolutely no accountability on her own as to why she's 50-something years old with no children and never been married. This is how a lot of these modern women think. If you listen to her, right, she said that men her age was raised in a culture that sees relationship a specific way, in the traditional way, right? Well, wait a minute. You come from that same culture. You was raised in that same house. That same house. So what makes you any different, right? Oh, it's the men's fault. It's not the woman's fault. No, but this is what I'm saying. A lot of you women, I hope that y'all listening to this, because I don't want you to end up like this woman in her 50s, miserable. So now she has to go date your younger son. She has to bring all of her issues that she's accumulated over the years and bring that onto your son, because she couldn't make it right. She couldn't get it right, right? She's not willing to sacrifice. She's selfish. So now she wants to date your son. Your son is young, strong, impressionable, green, ready for the world, and here comes this 52-year-old woman wanting to date your son. No, you don't want this woman nowhere near your son. Nowhere near your son. Because she lacks accountability, right? And she believes that older men are toxic, right? It's just a whole bunch of garbage. And people see her coming a mile away. This woman had all of the options laid out for her before she was born. She comes from privilege. She comes from privilege. And she's the type of woman coming from privilege. She had the opportunity to meet men on all sides of the spectrum, and she still couldn't maintain a man. But at 52, not one time did you hear her say anything that she's done wrong. It's about the men. It's about men being toxic. Not the men she chose, not the men that she deemed decent, because there's millions of good men out here. She just overlooked them for the type of men that she thought was decent. She thought was cool, right? So now she got to crap on all men, older men. Nah, man. Traditional is the way, because you see all these so-called non-traditional women. Where are their marriages at? Where are they men? They're very upset. They're disappointed. They're blaming men They're blaming men for everything. Most of these modern women today are all on social media, showing their backside, OnlyFans, busting it wide open. They're in their prime from about 18 to 30. They looking real good, and they mistaking options for opportunities. And a lot of them have opportunities, but they overlook their opportunities, right? And they run into all of these options. And in their bad decision making, right? A lot of trauma comes, right? A lot of bad mistakes, and then as they get older, you see that they take no accountability for it, right? They blame everybody else. And I'm telling a lot of you young women out there, don't do it. I'm telling a lot of you older women out there, you mamas now of sons that made those mistakes, that know better now. Don't let these old cougars wrap their hands around your sons, because that's who they run into. They run into your sons now because the older men ain't putting up with that. They're saying, listen, I wanted you 25 years ago, and you didn't, why am I here now to clean up your mess? No, these are decisions that you made. You got to live with this. And you're seeing it happen in real time with a lot of these young girls now, overlooking their tomorrows. And you see these channels springing up where you have women holding them accountable, right? So I'm telling you mothers out there, don't let your sons that you're raising up there, young, impressionable, nose green, looking at the world, ready to conquer the world. Don't let him run into a lot of these women like that. They will ruin his life, man. So I'm going to cut this video short right here, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, man. Kevin Samuels predicted this, though. Is he talking about all women? Absolutely not. He's talking about a certain type of woman, right? So remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.